where I've been in like a dark place and I've just wanted to like give up on life and I've really isolated myself. I think because of like, you know, the smell issue, like the insecurities, things like that, I just was like, no, I'm just going to isolate myself. Like, I don't deserve to be around people.
Just went, it was funny. What time? It was late at night. I know, it was like 1 or 2 in the morning. She just goes, ah!
Oh yeah, that was a sweet spot of like pain release. That just got to that spot.
So welcome to episode 2 of season 2, and this one's a special one because this one's with someone who's very important to me, one of the most beautiful people I've met in this beautiful experience that I've had, but somebody who's also been the biggest catalyst for my growth as a person. It's my very own partner in crime, Isabella Bradford-Johnson, also known as IsabellaNutrition. You might remember her adverts from the first season. Isabella is all about using this holistic approach. How is the food causing, or maybe it could prevent, issues? Understanding food is thy medicine, first and foremost. So this all came from, I'll let her do most of the talking, but there's a certain gut issue, which there's a lot of shame and embarrassment, a lot of pain and suffering, and it's been a certain acceptance journey, but also learning how we can be more skillful with using the food. So I'm going to let Isabella do the talking there. It's a raw and vulnerable issue. So guys, please, if you can show some support to myself and Isabella, it's still only season 2, a like or a comment if it's affected you during the episode, or maybe you share it with a friend because you think it'll help them. Be much appreciated. But you're about to find out why I love her so much. It's going to be IsabellaNutrition taking spotlight, centre stage, because she's quite, and she's not like me, she's introverted. She'd rather stay in the shadows and just be safe and calm and relaxed. And this is my chance to share her with you. And I'm hoping you see her the way I see her. But, well, only time will tell. Before we do that, do you have a few words about Transmute? It's a new season, but it's the same old sponsor, and that's Transmute Studio. Beautiful centre in the centre of Manchester, Northern Quarter. It's got loads of the old stuff like the African drumming, the African dance classes. They've got salsa now as well. They've got the beautiful Arignani, ceremonial ecstatic dance with wizardry from the show, but also my alter ego DJ Moksha has made an appearance with his new ecstatic dance, Liberation. So, sound baths, Kundalini yoga, candlelit yoga, loads of beautiful events there. It's all about wellness, culture, creativity. What's going to do a better job of explaining it than my little mouth is going down to the socials, the website, and seeing it for yourself. So I'll put a link in the description and you could maybe come float in one of them hammocks with myself. But for now, guys, enjoy the episode. Peace and love.
Okay, so we're going to start with some breathing that's really quite relaxing for the nervous system. I like to use this in my workshops that I do. So I'm going to breathe in through the nose for a count of 4. Then we're going to pause for 1 second and then breathe out of the mouth for a count of 7. We're going to have our lips pursed and just imagine that you're blowing out a candle and making like a whoosh sound. Okay, so we'll get started. So breathing in through the nose, 2, 3, 4, 1 second pause, out through the mouth, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're going to repeat that around 3 to 4 times. So breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, pause for 1 second, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, in 2, 3, 4, pause 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, pause, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you should be feeling quite relaxed after that breathing exercise. It's a nice, quick, easy method if you're ever feeling triggered, feeling overwhelmed, it just acts as a lovely tranquilizer to the nervous system, bringing us into the parasympathetic nervous system, also known as rest and digest.
Do you love me some lovely tranquilizers? I've
Same.
been doing that because if anyone doesn't know, by the way, Isabella Bradford-Johnson, also IsabellaNutrition, so you'll have heard the adverts. She's also my girlfriend. So that makes this a very special episode.
I'm very privileged.
Still my girlfriend.
Yeah, going strong, going strong.
My longest girlfriend as well.
Yeah, you're my longest boyfriend.
Who was the next one?
Yeah, you're the only one. You're my first boyfriend, so you beat everyone.
Which is weird, really. I couldn't imagine that because I'm the opposite. You're like
polar.
I've lost count.
yeah, we've definitely gone like the extreme ends.
Definitely. But I feel like we brought each other to balance. And I was going to say about that breath work, I actually started doing that because with Joshua Bazuki, the guy who runs Transmute, you'll all be aware of the adverts, he taught me to be fully present with my food. Then I did a bit of work with Thich Nhat Hanh's How to Eat that you showed me. And then you were telling me about doing diaphragmatic breathing. So that not only are you restful, but your stomach sort of had a little massage so it just digests the food a bit better.
Yeah, you're just giving like a nice massage. When you're breathing through the diaphragm, you're just allowing it to expand and, give your organs some space.
Give your organs some space.
Yeah, just get the stomach acid going, the digestive juices going so you can digest your food better, really.
You can tell she knows her stuff, right? Now, this is Who on Earth Are You? Not just the IsabellaNutrition side as well. Who is Isabella Bradford-Johnson? So, we always start, where is it you've come from? Who are you?
Big question, isn't it?
Aunt Tama almost took us on this spiritual journey of who are we? What are we? Let's make it simple. Where was your vessel, your body born?
Yeah, Manchester.
And what happened for the early years?
Yeah, so I was born at home in Manchester. I was actually born in my mum and dad's bedroom. So had a midwife there. I'm sure it was a lot more relaxing than a lot of births in the hospital. I feel like I was quite a chilled baby, chilled child.
Didn't your family say that you didn't speak?
Yeah.
How long did you not speak for?
I'd have to check, but I feel like it was maybe I don't even know, 2 or 3. What's the normal age for children?
I don't know, but it was they were is she okay? They were telling me the story, and then what was it? One day your brother took some food or a toy.
Yeah,
and you said a full-on sentence.
Yeah, he had loads of toys, and I think I only had one, so I just came out with, why has he got all those toys and I've only got one?
But you are because this is what I made a point to you beforehand. I get loads of guests, especially someone like me who finds talking easy. I am a bit extrovert, as you say. You are more on the introvert side, a bit reticent, a bit more reserved. It's great to give you a chance to speak because you are the epitome of that. I'm not even going to talk till it's worth saying, right? Someone's overstepped a boundary.
Yeah, he must have really pissed me off for me to speak out.
So what was it like growing up for you when you started talking?
Yeah, so I think I was really just the observer as a child. I would just sit there quietly and just watch everyone, what's going on, just very introverted. Yeah, I think my sibling relationship has always been quite difficult. I suppose I was always the good child, well-behaved, quiet, did what they were told. Whereas my brother, he was the opposite. He would have tantrums and me crying and screaming and taking a lot of the attention of my parents and my grandparents. So yeah, I think maybe my needs went quite unmet because I wasn't this loud, disruptive person. I think I might, I did get a lot of love from my caregivers, but I think maybe I was a little bit forgotten because all the focus was on my brother.
And I get that because obviously I am a bit loud. I was that little prince in his high chair sort of mother. So for you, I bet that's played out in your life. I know we've spoken a bit about it where everyone else is getting the attention. Everybody else is sort of being the loud one and kind of makes you feel a bit well, I'll just keep quiet then, shall I?
Yeah, I think it probably led to quite a bit of like emotional suppression because I was clearly seeing like, oh, if I express myself and I'm crying and I'm being loud, like I think there was a lot of judgment on my brother, like, you know, probably not a lot of space being held for his emotions, which I can't blame like my family, like they really did their best and they, you know, they've always been so loving and supportive. But obviously that my brother being difficult will have triggered things in them that they probably don't have that space to hold in themselves and therefore don't have that space to hold for a child. So, yeah, I think you probably would have been told off and labelled as the bad one and suppose rejected a little bit. So I probably saw, oh, it's actually not safe to express myself, to cry, to, you know,
kick off, be loud.
Yeah, express really. Like I probably didn't feel like it was a safe environment, so I probably just suppressed
because with your
a lot of emotions.
Your natural inclination is already to be reserved.
Yeah.
It's not like someone has to push you into being quiet and just...
No, I actually find it quite peaceful, like, you know, just being quiet. Like I used to just be able to just sit. I could just sit there like looking at a wall and I wouldn't be bored. I'd just be like peaceful, just like absolute like...
Look at that paint dry. Woo!
Yeah.
Which makes me question, why are you with someone like me then? Or do you need that little bit of...
I think I need that fire, that yang.
What do you call me, pitter?
I think
Ayurveda.
Yeah, I think you're definitely like a pitta constitution. Yeah.
So it's about you though. So you've had this early start where you're feeling like I've got to suppress some stuff. I've got to I can see how this is getting treated if it kick off. Is that playing out in your life, not just at home? Are you quiet when you're at school? What's school like for you?
I think I quite liked school. Like, I think I was quite, like, confident. Like, I would have, like, quite a few friends. And I was just, like, a happy-go-lucky sort of kid. Like, yeah, just enjoying myself. Always enjoyed food. Like, that's always been a massive part.
Yeah. Do you remember when we did that thing? I think it was 30 days to see what your like, negative and positive habits are, and you'd put like what the best moments of each day was.
Yeah, like what I was grateful for.
I was number 2. What was number 1?
Yeah, number 1 was I was grateful for food, like nice food. Which I'm sure you weren't surprised.
IsabellaNutrition.
I like good food.
Yeah.
It's got to taste good.
Well, that's what we talk about. Like, so people think eating healthy has to be boring, whereas you've literally got a war on bland food. Yeah, everything you make's healthy. Like, you'll be making me snacks, and I'm like, are you sure this is healthy? Like, Mike, I've told you a million times. It's okay.
Yeah. I think, like, my nana's been a massive influence on that.
She's a good cook, isn't she?
She's a very good home cook. Like, I had the best food, like, growing up, so now I just won't accept anything less.
You and your nana had quite a strong, well, still have quite a strong bond, because you're taking care of her right now, aren't you?
Yeah,
and that
I am,
probably
which
comes
is nice.
from wanting to give back when she's been showing you because you are a good cook. But you're not like me. I'm a bit more, this is how it's done, and it can't go wrong if I do it. Whereas you're like me dad. You're like, bit of that, bit of this, bit of this. I'm like, how'd you make that? You're like, psh.
Yeah, I think it's like, you know, it's a form of creativity.
Definitely.
Like, creativity isn't just, you know, drawing and doing a bit of art. It can be like making up recipes and, you know, adding different spices and stuff. Like, you are creating something.
Speaking of recipes, you've done a little ebook, if we can just plug that for a second, haven't you?
Yeah, that's
the Healthy Guts.
Healthy Guts ebook. Yeah, there's it's a 2-phase healing protocol for the gut. So there's all the instructions there and loads of different recipes that people can follow, meal plans. So yeah, if anyone wants to get the link
I'll
for
put
that,
I'll put all that in the description. Stuff where anyone can get in touch with you as well, be in the description. So we've got a little bit of sales out of the way. Now, your mum and dad weren't together.
No, well, they split up when I think I was about 2.
Okay.
I think my brother must have been about 3 or 4, yeah.
So you most of your life has been predominantly with mum, and then going to see dad.
Like every other weekend, yeah.
And at some point, didn't she marry was it a policeman?
He used to be a policeman, but when she met him, like, he had like his own farm.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But the point I was going to then lead to was you then went and lived in Yorkshire for a bit.
I did, yeah.
So now what age was that when you went to Yorkshire?
So my mum got married to the Yorkshireman when I was about 8 Yeah.
And she does a mean Yorkshire accent as well.
Yeah, I do.
You almost meant to do it, then, didn't you? Just in case you fuck it up.
Yeah, like, don't do that.
So what was it like moving to Yorkshire for you?
I liked it. You know, I actually really liked living in Huddersfield. So it's like very countryside, and we lived in little villages. I liked my school. I had friends there. I feel like I've always been quite an adaptable person, like sort of going with the flow. So I found it quite easy moving schools, making new friends.
You don't seem massively attached either. From what I've noticed.
I really wasn't bothered. Like, it was just like, oh, this is where we live now. Okay. Yeah, literally. Yeah.
And your mum introduced you to culture and traveling. And so that sort of raising up, I'm saying it wrong. Anyway, probably then made you just be like, yeah, embracing all these new experiences rather than, oh, but I like that one.
Yeah, I think, I suppose I didn't have like a major like attachment, you know, to things. I would just get on with it, really. Yeah, so I quite liked living in Huddersfield. We lived there till, I think it was a bit difficult when we moved back to Manchester. So I was living...
This is when the mum and your stepdad broke up.
Yeah. So moved there when I was 8, and then, they weren't together long. So I think by the age of 10, we moved back to Manchester. So
Sadie, all these friends in Huddersfield?
I met them at high school. So I had a really close friend at junior school called Alice. So it was upsetting for me, like, leaving my friends, because we were sort of, you know, you're thinking about high schools and things like that, and which high school to go to with your friends. And, like, I'd planned, like, I wanted to go to, like, this high school, and I was really excited for that. And then to get, like, taken away from that to move back to Manchester, I think that was when it was a bit like, wasn't too happy about that. But I still got on with it when we got back to Manchester. Like, I made, because I was going back to the same school, like the same junior school, there was people that I already knew. So, like, I got back in touch, you know, became mates with them again. And that was, like, fun, and enjoyed that as well, yeah.
So at some point, obviously, you told me, obviously, we all played about with, like, weed and different stuff, didn't we?
Yeah.
As we did, you told me this was a turning point. Now tell me if anything else you feel was missed out, but when you had that
experience, so I was in Manchester.
What experience I'm talking about.
I was in Manchester, went to high school in Manchester for a couple of years, and then I moved back to Huddersfield again.
That's where I'm getting a bit.
I moved back to Huddersfield again when I was about 13, nearly 14. I moved back to Huddersfield and went to high school in Huddersfield.
Right, and is that when you then had the experience? Because you said you never used to have, like, the big anxiety moments, and you were usually quite chill.
Yeah, I was chilled. Like, I liked high school. I had friends. We used to, like, go out partying, like, pretty much every weekend. I had a lot of fun.
Standard young English procedure. It's what we do.
Yeah, I really did have a lot of fun. When I had that experience with the weed, that was when I was 17. So I'd left high school and I'd started college in Huddersfield.
So do you want to let people know? Because I know that's... if there's pivotal moments in people's lives, mine was being in Australia, yours was that moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, that, like, changed everything, really. Obviously, I was just at college. I had plans to go to university. But yeah, one night, like, me and my friends used to smoke weed, you know, some weekends, like you do.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm sure you're an angel.
I think that went on a bit too long for me.
Yeah, so I was just, like, smoking weed with my friends at home, and, like, I don't know if that spliff had been laced with something, because one of our friends, he apparently was talking a lot about salvia, and, like, the weed kind of looked a bit different. So it looked a bit more like dark green, leafy. So I don't know whether, I can't say because I don't know, but it might have been laced with some salvia there. And it was just a horrible experience. Like, I've never had panic and anxiety. Well, I've never really had, like, anxiety or panic before that. And it was just really horrible. Like my heart was racing. I didn't know what was going on. I was scared and I didn't communicate it with my friends either. I just sort of like kept it in.
Because communication's something we've worked on in it.
Yeah.
That's one of my specialisms.
Yeah, I think I can definitely be the more avoidant
You speak till you were like 2 or 3.
I know, yeah. I used to just keep everything in me, like just shut it down.
Do you think that's what led to this overwhelm of anxiety? Because whereas me, I'm like quite a bit, well, not anymore, but I used to be like that. Whereas with you, you just sort of push that down.
Definitely.
This box, I can see a box inside you being like boiling kettles.
Oh yeah, like definitely there must have been a lot of fear and anxiety suppressed, and having this drug has literally just unlocked
Pandora's box,
unlocked that subconscious fear, and it's all just come out. So yeah, just horrible experience, but went to sleep that evening, woke up the next day, felt fine. I just said to my friends, I felt a bit weird last night. A few of them said, yeah, they felt a bit weird too, but they were all right. And then I don't know if it was like a week later, I was just sat in college, or it might have been 2 weeks later, just sat in college, and then all of a sudden, all this like panic and anxiety starts coming up. My heart's racing. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, literally, what the fuck's going on? Like, I really don't feel well. And then, since then, it was like constant anxiety, like knots in my stomach, constant panic, like couldn't relax. Yeah, it was like full on.
You stopped going to college, didn't it?
Yeah. We also had moved back to Manchester again, so I had to get the train.
Gone back that way.
God, it's crazy, isn't it? How many times I've moved back and forth. Yeah, I moved back to Manchester, so I had to get like the train over, which I don't know, like maybe even like 2 trains or something. It was a bit of a trek to get to college, but the anxiety was just getting so bad. Like, I just couldn't function. So I didn't really like finish college in Huddersfield. Yeah, I ended up going to another college in Manchester because obviously that was closer. But the anxiety brought up like gut issues as well, which,
and I know that's a massive thing for you to deal with. So take a breath.
Yeah.
Safe place, you with me, baby.
Thank you.
So when you're ready, if you want to share the next issue that we've had.
Yeah, so I think all that anxiety that I was experiencing in my body, getting constant knots in my stomach. I ended up taking some antibiotics as well. I just had like a sore throat or something, and the doctor gave me antibiotics. I'd also...
they hand antibiotics out for like, oh, you got a cough, yeah, here you go. Oh, you got an itchy eye, yeah, here you go.
Yeah, they don't know what the damage they're doing, just handing that out to people.
Did you tell me it ruins the microbiome?
Yeah, it can just like stomach, completely wipe out the microbiome. Yeah, you might get rid of the infection, but you're also getting rid of like all the good guys there as well.
For people who don't know what microbiome is?
Yeah, so it's the like the bacteria, the yeast, all the living organisms that live within our gut. Basically, that is the microbiome. We really need like a healthy microbiome to, prevent illnesses, infections, diseases, also for our mood as well.
Yeah, because even your mental state, we watched a documentary, didn't we, on, what was it called on Netflix?
I can't remember what it's called.
Love You Girl, something like that, wasn't it? And like somebody did that, what was it,
microbial transplant,
which for people who don't know what that is, that's basically putting somebody else's poo inside
in a capsule, and then
crapsule they called it, wasn't it? What did you call it? Oh yeah, they made a poovy.
Oh yeah, they were like blending it up and then putting it in a capsule. God. Yeah, I wouldn't want to eat out of that kitchen.
But that's so like, but then they ended up getting mental issues because they had the same microbiome as, say, a boyfriend or I think it was a brother that also had depression, and they got depression. So something else cleared up, but then they got that because that's how important to your mood the microbiome is. So if you're killing it off with antibiotics.
Oh yeah, like I started getting like spots, and like the anxiety, depression just got even worse, like with the gut issues.
So let's move on. What is the gut issue so people understand what it is you've been through? Because that is a massive part of who you are.
Yeah, so like it's a bit of a weird one really, but basically, I was in college and people kept like saying weird things around me about like smells, things like that. And it kept happening. If it had just happened a one-off, I wouldn't have really questioned it, but it kept repeatedly happening where people were saying things around me.
It's a pattern.
Yeah, so I realised that basically like odours were coming off my body. You know, people thought that I had farted when I hadn't, that I hadn't been to the toilet, that, you know, I wasn't washing. It can be like, it's a lot of like different smells that basically come in from my gut. I think with the dysbiosis, with the overgrowth of the bad bacteria, obviously caused by like the anxiety, the antibiotics, the drinking alcohol, and then all the stress, which can cause intestinal permeability, also known as leaky gut syndrome. So I think that's what caused this smell issue. Obviously, yeah, it's been like a really tough one. It's a very embarrassing issue to live with.
Yeah, because no one wants to smell.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
It's a standard thing, isn't it? Like if someone says you stink of shit.
Yeah, it's not pretty like
brilliant.
Horrible.
The perfume's working then. Like no one's getting shit down.
Yeah, like as like, you know, we're tribal people. Like we want to fit in in society.
Deep, doesn't it?
So having that like rejection, that like, oh, what's that smell? And oh, is that you? Is very like hurtful.
Because I've told you, innit, one of my old friends' mums called me Smelly Mike.
Yeah.
But that was because I was a lazy bastard who didn't take care of, like, I literally had like an aversion to shower. I used to go stand in showers and not actually put the shower on. But the blessing is, all I had to do
you
to get
do something about it quite easily.
I could just have a shower and I'm no longer Smelly Mike. Nice one.
With this, it's very much like an internal issue. It's not that I don't wash. It's not that I'm, you know, letting out gas. Like that's just like I wouldn't do that.
But I had a thing, you know, if you're actually holding your farts, which I'm sure a lot of, it generally seems to be women around men seem to have this thing about not farting, which is fair enough. But I heard if you don't fart, like you block it, it goes back up. You then absorb it into your blood or something. You absorb it into something, and then it goes to this point where the only way for it to go is out of your mouth.
Yeah.
So when someone says your mouth stinks of shit, or have you been like you've got dog shit breath or something, like that, it's because you genuinely are farting out your mouth. No, don't hold me to that. And I don't expect you to know, but that's just a weird thing.
Yeah, well, that wasn't my thing. Mine's more like farting out of like pores of my skin, or I don't even know. Like I can't smell it myself.
When I've smelled it, it's sort of like we say like sort of like a meaty smell. It's not quite shit. It's not quite fart. It's more like a meaty smell.
The smell can change depending on what I've eaten, whether I've been to the toilet enough. Like the smell can change. But
like every moment of darkness or adversity, it has got a flip side where if we look at it, it's actually a blessing. There is no IsabellaNutrition.
No.
There is no learning how to accept these most difficult of, like you said, deep tribal rejection parts. And so for people who are going, oh, that must be awful, you've also gone and took care of your health.
Oh yeah, it has been a blessing and a curse.
You probably fixed a load of things.
I look after myself so much more than I used to. My diet used to be awful. I used to
give us a standard.
I actually used to live off like toast, like white bread, cereal, biscuits, chocolate. I never used to eat vegetables. Like my diet was atrocious. I used to drink alcohol. I didn't look after my body, so no wonder I ended up with this issue. Also, like de-stressing as well. That's a really important thing because a lot of these illnesses are caused by our emotional suppression and stress.
Well, it's why I was so excited to get you. Obviously, I love you to bits. You're my girl. Like, I want to share you anyway. I'm not choosing you out of everyone because I think you're all right. I think you're amazing. But also because I've seen the work you've done on yourself. Even when we first met, like, what did I call you? Like the lizard? Cold.
Ice Queen.
Ice Queen. I'm very, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but I'm a bit emotive. I'm a bit flamboyant.
Just a little bit.
You know what I'm feeling. Unless I go into full meditation mode, then I could be having a panic attack and you can't tell. Yeah. But usually in my daily life, I'm very like, hey. Whereas with you, it was more about like, how do you feel today? Is it? What's going on?
Yeah. I think sometimes, or definitely in the past, I struggled to even know how I felt. Like, and also how to articulate myself with how I'm feeling. So it's definitely a journey with allow myself to feel my emotions, express myself. Like, it is a journey, and I do feel like I've improved a lot from how I used to be.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why another practical reason, because everyone I get on, I want to share them because of who they are, but also they know a few things. I've seen where they've come from, or at least I've heard what they're already doing, and it sounds like something I want to share with the world. It's like a double-edged thing where not only are you a great person and very interesting, but look at all the stuff you've done. So what are some of the stuff that you found have helped you de-stress? So that's a big thing about making sure the guts, because stress is one of the, causes inflammation, which is the main cause of all disease.
Yeah, so pretty much with all diseases, the root cause is inflammation in the body. So any way that we can decrease that inflammation, be it through our diet, having, ginger, turmeric, very anti-inflammatory food.
It looks like a pot of piss in the fridge, but it's just ginger tea.
I love my ginger tea, don't I?
Yo, it hits though.
Oh yeah, it's got to be strong.
That ginger tea hits, like you think you're having a nice...
Yeah, it's very fiery. That's very good for digestion.
And garlic, we were making a garlic tea when we were doing the juicing fast,
yeah, that's quite good for detoxification, support the detoxification organs.
Was it antimicrobial, antibacterial, antifungal? So
yeah.
What are some other... So obviously the diet's a big thing with you, and we'll get into that, what changes you make. Because when I met you, I think you were doing keto, weren't you? Which I thought was keto.
Well, I'm still doing that, yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, you're still doing it. And I want to touch on that, but I also want to touch on the things that you're doing. So I know you're in... Like, half the stuff I'm into are because of you. Ecstatic dance, you taught me to Tribe Gaia, sharing circles, even stuff like the breath work or the cold water dipping, Wim Hof. The first time I did a Wim Hof breath work was through you. So what are some of the stuff you want to share with people that's helped yourself?
So like at the start, when I had the really crippling anxiety, I actually did CBT hypnosis. Had like 5 sessions of that. That was a place in Didsbury that was like the UK's #1 CBT hypnotherapy place. That really helped a lot, just to like, suppose, get into the subconscious, what's going on with all this fear. And
CBT, just so people know what it is.
Cognitive behavioural therapy. So they just help you to like reframe thoughts and things like that. So yeah, that was like #1 to like decrease my anxiety. And then obviously things like meditation. Obviously,
you don't do that, do you?
Yeah, I mean, I've not been doing it as much lately, but like doing a 10-day Vipassana.
We'll get to that.
Quite powerful, yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
No, but with the meditation, again, like me and you, we can sit there for quite a while. If anything, like I remember you used to hate if I was making noise, and now you've got to the point where you realise that's actually a way of building strength in your meditation, is to not let these external things bother you. Was that something that used to pop up a lot in your life?
Yeah, I think trying to control the external, really. I think it's quite a big lesson that like we can't really, I mean, sometimes we might have an influence on the environment, but sometimes there's things you can't change. And it's, I suppose, learning to observe them instead of reacting, and observing the sensations in the body and emotions that they are triggering within you. I suppose it gives you a chance to integrate those parts of yourself.
What was it Goenka used to say to it? Equanimous.
Yeah.
Patient mind, a gentle mind.
He had such a soothing voice.
Cool. We'll get to the Vipassana anyway. So we've got meditation's been helping you, CBT, learning to accept you can't control, the breath work. I'll go in and I'll just hear you going.
Yeah, I think the breath work's so powerful. Like Wim Hof breathing, I like to use that in my morning routine. I've not been doing it as much recently, but I'd like to get back into it.
We all fall out in and out.
Yeah, but it's a good tool to have. It was a really good breath work at Temple.
The last Temple
last
we
Friday,
did,
yeah, that
she was more about embodying. So rather than this holotropic, let's get people to like bring up loads of crazy stress and then get the consciousness into a psychedelic state, maybe. She was very much like gentle. And I think you resonate a lot with the softness, the feminine, the gentle, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. It was, is it conscious, connected?
Yeah, so that's where you never stop. So it's
yeah, there's no gaps in between the in and out breath. Yeah.
Now I'm not doing that fast, but there was no break.
No break. And you're doing it for, I think it was about 30 minutes we were doing it for.
Temple don't mess about.
Yeah, that was really good. It just showed that with breath work, you don't always have to exert yourself. Like with the Wim Hof, it's quite...
it's very...
full on. When you're feeling it,
release.
Physiology, you're feeling all the tingles in your hands and your feet, and I get ringing in my ears and tingling in my head. But with this, it was very much like gentle but powerful, where for me it was bringing up like a lot of like emotion and I cried and it was a nice release.
That's another thing, allowing ourselves to release.
Yeah.
Like you get people, don't cry. They're always trying to...
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
why? Like, that's literally ubiquitous between the human race, because it's a way of releasing toxins, but also the energy that we've trapped by not fully experiencing the trauma.
The body
in the first
knows
place.
what to do.
We
just got to let the body do it. It's very intelligent. I think it's just how they've been taught. Suppress it all. You've got to go to work. You can't be crying. It makes other people uncomfortable. But now I'm just like, if I need to cry, I'm going to cry. It is a release. It is good for me.
Do you know what reminds me that of when we did the mushroom ceremony together, and you were like, you had a moment where you were accepting this smell, because obviously all that rejection, you've internalized it as if like you've now gone, that isn't acceptable in myself, and then something in you just went. It was funny. What time it was late at night. I know it was like 1 or 2 in the morning. She just goes, ah!
Oh yeah, that was a sweet spot of like pain release. That just got to that spot.
But what was typical, I then represented everything that's wrong in society, where I went, can you not, you wake the neighbours, and because I still was learning a bit myself, and now I look back, I should have been patting you on the back, fist bumping you, going, anything else? Like, so it does show how even someone like myself, who's done a lot of work,
it's ingrained deeply.
People pleaser, we all have it.
Worrying about what other people are going to think.
What they're going to do.
Like, so what if they think I'm being murdered? I'm not. I'm just releasing some pain.
They'll figure it out when you open the door and you're alive.
Yeah. Ooh. Like, I think it's
about they don't want to feel that way. They don't like how you're making them feel. And we learned in Vipassana, everything comes down to sensation. So actually the issue was, I didn't like how the thought of them rejecting me made me feel when you did that. It was all down to me not liking a sensation of rejection, which I'm sure you can relate to. It just had a different manifestation. So breath work, CBT, not letting outside of yourself, have power.
Hypnosis.
Meditation. What's another thing that you've been, that's because I know you like to journal. I know
journaling. Yeah, that's nature, really helpful.
Getting out
in nature, just resting and grounding your nervous system.
Oh, that's another one. Barefoot, grounding.
Yeah, barefoot
Leo
walking.
would approve. Get your hooves out, you would say.
Yeah, we love a bit of grounding nowadays.
People look at us weird, though, don't they?
They always just walk past looking at our feet, and we're just like...
That's because we used to think do people think we're weird because we used to go to the grass in Worsley, didn't we, and just stand on it for 15 minutes. But now we're like, oh, fuck it. Shoes in the car.
We do like hour
2. I did 4 hours the other day when we all went to the nature walk, which, by the way, guys, little side one, if you want to come down to a nature walk last Sunday of every month. But yeah, the grounding, what was it? It releases the excess energy, the electrons, into the neutral earth, therefore sort of like decompresses you. Mother guy goes, let us take that. And what did...
Yes, like...
but it was you again. You were the instigator.
Yeah.
We had a grounding mat even, didn't we? And I'm like, at first, I'm like being my typical, that's not normal.
But you do feel a difference, don't you? Like from sleeping on that.
It works miracles.
Grounding works miracles.
Grounding, and it bloody does. So grounding, nature.
Yeah, so like when we're around, a lot of Wi-Fi and like microwaves and phones and things like that, they're releasing positive ions, which can cause excess free radicals, which can cause inflammation in the body, which, as we said, we don't want inflammation in the body.
The main diseases.
Whereas when you get out in nature, you buy moving water, waterfalls, rivers, you're putting your feet on the earth, you're touching a tree.
It's natural.
You're grounding, you're getting all the negative ions, which help to neutralize the positive ions. So there's been loads of studies on like grounding that
Yeah, you look into
to
stuff.
show that it reduces inflammation in the body, which makes absolute sense.
And just improves your mood as a result.
Yeah.
Like, I always go for a walk, and a walk's a great way of processing stuff anyway, but because I do it that, and you're very present, especially if it's fucking winter, and that floor feels like you're walking on ice. And my mate was like, but what if there's dog shit? Well, you don't walk in dog shit when you're wearing shoes. If anything, it's easier to clean your feet. Just step around it. Oh, there's glass. Best not jump on that today.
Yeah, it's never really been an issue.
Never.
Like, I probably wouldn't walk in like city centres and places where there could be grass.
I see Leo doing
not
that.
Glass.
I see, but be careful. Grass.
Yeah.
And another big one, and you literally just did it with our friend Emma today, didn't you? Cold water dipping.
Yeah, I really like cold water dipping and cold showers as well.
Oh, you should hear her. My mum's face when we're staying at hers. She's like, she's like, what's she doing? I'm like, cold water. I did casual, like, cold water.
Yeah, that's very good for like reducing inflammation in the body, releasing like endorphins. It can boost your mood. I just feel like after I've had a cold shower, it just makes me feel settled, like relaxed, like, you know, my nervous system's, it's, you know, I've screamed, but then once you come out, it's like...
It's the initial juxtaposition between being warm and then freezing. Your body takes a minute, so it's like, oh, extreme sensation. But if you just keep breathing, your actual body just, like, homeostasis just comes into balance again. If you just...
Yeah, you just end up going numb as well, don't you? So you just it's fine.
So, is there anything else you think is really important to get across to people that's helped you? Not the food side, we're going to go there, but anything else?
For me, psychedelics have been a big part of my healing journey, to be honest.
We are psychonauts, let's be honest.
We are.
But do you remember how I was at the start?
Oh, yeah,
I call them
you thought they were the devil.
Psychedelicals. Don't you have a psychedelical and you're like, what's a psychedelical, mate?
Yeah, stay away from the psychedelicals.
Yeah, I will do, mate.
I think that's a word.
Do you know what it was? Do you remember Otto from Simpsons? He used to be like, psychedelical, man.
Yeah.
So I thought that's what they were called. So when we're talking about psychedelics, disclaimer, this is not something we're recommending. You're just telling people about your experiences.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
We're not telling everyone to do illegal drugs. We've only ever done them when it's in other countries anyway.
Yeah, like if anyone's got schizophrenia.
Things like that, yeah, be very careful.
Yeah, just be very mindful with these because they can unlock things that maybe you're not ready.
Sober sitter, who's holding space if it's your first time. Dose, how much are you having? And if you planned it on a Monday you're feeling awful, maybe don't do it. Just release that expectation. But for yourself, what psychedelics are we talking about?
Psilocybin, my friends, the mushrooms.
They are fun guys, go on. Bad joke.
They are. So psilocybin has been like the main I want to call it a medicine. I don't even want to call it a drug. Like I feel like it is a medicine. And I've done like LSD ones, but mainly mushrooms that I've worked with,
Can you maybe give the listeners an example of how the psilocybin's worked as a medicine for yourself? Obviously, we spoke about that time where it allowed you to release and accept yourself. What's another example?
Yeah, I feel like with the mushrooms, they just really show you what's going on with yourself, with your subconscious mind, with your patterns that maybe are not serving you. They just really help me, like, just to drop into the body, to just feel whatever energy needs to be felt and, you know, moved around the body. Like, you can literally feel them doing the work.
Working with you, aren't they?
Yeah, you feel them moving around your body, going into your heart space, maybe doing a bit of healing there, coming up, you know, up to your head. It could be different experiences. Sometimes it's very visual, where I can see different colours. I'm seeing geometric patterns. One of the most interesting, because they're always interesting. Yeah. Whatever happens, whether it's
one thing that
negative
happens, you
or
ain't
positive.
Gonna be bored. Even if nothing happens, you're like, oh, that's interesting. Nothing happened.
yeah, and it feels like they always give you exactly what you need, like in that moment.
That's why we always do it ceremonially. We don't just take the piss. we have reverence. We make sure we go in with intention.
Yeah, and to be receptive to whatever they're showing you. Just let go. Just go with it.
You've seen me get spanked, haven't you? And that wasn't me getting spanked in terms of the experience was bad. I don't believe in bad trips. Maybe difficult, because sometimes you need to experience difficult shit. But I was expecting a fun. We're in Amsterdam. Oh, let's have some truffles. 5 grams of the strongest one. And he was like, you'll be seeing unicorns, mate. And then there was those people with like little unicorn hats on. And I was like, but actually at that moment I was having a tough.
Yeah.
Because we now have learned that if just be prepared for hell or heaven.
Yeah, it can go either way.
If it's hell, you like roll your sleeves up, let's go. Whereas if you're just going in wanting a bit of a laugh, and then it's not a bit of a laugh.
It's not a party drug. It's not just having a laugh with the mates. Like, they deserve reverence.
You can traumatize yourself.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So
yeah, because they're unlocking deep stuff within your psyche. So yeah, one of the really interesting ones was when we did 5 gram, 5 gram each.
Which anyone who doesn't know,
that's quite a high dose.
It's not your average.
Yeah, we would normally probably have like 3 grams. So this was like the biggest dose I've done. And yeah, it was like really cool, like really interesting. Yeah, I think at the start of it, it was sort of like a little bit of like a push and pull of like my ego and like I would say my soul, of like my ego not wanting to let go and surrender to the medicine, but then like my soul being like, it's okay, like we can let go. So it was a bit of push and pull.
Standard procedure,
yeah. And then when I eventually did let go, it was, I suppose it was almost like I was in a different state of consciousness, like
of course you are,
on a different frequency, different dimension, whatever you want to call it. It was still very much, I'm in this room and everything's...
Yeah, it's not chocolate bars
I'm not
running around and peeling yourself because you thought you were in
No, it wasn't like that at all. I'm not like seeing, lions appearing and running at me. Nothing like that. It was more just like how I was feeling was like, oh, like I'm not Isabella. Like I forgot that. Like, and now I'm just remembering that I'm not Isabella. It wasn't like, oh my God, like I'm not this. It was literally like, I already knew that, but I just forgot. Like, I'm not Isabella. I'm not this body. That's just not me. But at the same time, it was also like, I am one with everything. I am everything. So it was like, I was eating a bit of carrot and I'm like, I'm eating myself. I just knew it. I just knew that was me. I just knew it. Like, it just was.
Didn't we start making fun of it and being like, when you went to the toilet, we were like, oh, stop pissing on yourself.
Yeah, I was literally went for a wee and I was like, I'm pissing on myself.
But it's true, on a rudimentary level, everything has a bit of consciousness. And that's, in my opinion, and I think you agree, is what we're talking about, that oneness, that source. Yeah, there's the fun of the different forms, but it's all one.
Oh, definitely. I believe that. And it's not just me who's felt that, like, a lot of people have that same experience. And I don't think that's a coincidence.
And that's when we decided, well, if we're one, we should be able to read each other's minds.
Oh, yeah. That was
and people would go...
I think that was a different... Was that the same night or a different trip?
I'm pretty sure that... I
think it was a different trip.
Anyway, we got to the realisation that we're one, so we should be able to tap into each other's minds. So let's just focus on one thing. It worked.
Like, we read each other's minds.
I was thinking, but not how you think. It's not words, and I hear your words. I was thinking water. And because obviously I was in an altered state, I literally started becoming water. And then she went, water? And then your ego came in and went, no, because you went watercress? And I was like, that's fucking close. But then you know what I'm like?
But then you were thinking of the sun.
Exactly. This is when I went, right, we need to, that, you didn't get it spot on.
Oh no, I was thinking of the sun, wasn't I?
You were thinking
I was thinking of the sun, so I was like, sun energy, like, fire and putting that warmth, and putting that energy out.
I didn't hear words, but then in my third eye, it felt like it started glowing red, orange. And it was, even my mind was going, this looks, it didn't feel warm, but this looks warm, something warm. And then I was like, What did I say? Did I say the exact?
You said the sun.
I said the sun. That was it. Is it something like the sun? Because I can see warmth.
Yeah.
It's not how you think.
You were like, fire the sun.
And you were like, fuck off.
Like, genuinely, that blew my mind. It was like, we were literally telepathic.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm sure we could sit here doing a whole episode on the different experiences we'd have. But I'm also mindful of IsabellaNutrition. So we touched on, you did a lot of work in terms of holistically. That's part of your thing. You're not just a nutritionist. You look at the whole. Because if the other stuff's our killer, but we spoke about that. Is there anything else before we go into the nutrition? We touched on psychedelics. Anything else?
Yeah, I feel like letting yourself feel your emotions is really a big one, releasing that energy so it doesn't just build up. And being open about like my gut issues as well, like talking to people about it. That's been a massive thing for me because it's just brought a lot more acceptance and, you know, sort of owning it and having people that are so understanding and not judging me has just been like really powerful. It just helps me to accept and release judgment of myself as well.
Shining light on it, and fear thrives in the darkness.
Yeah.
In the unknown. What is that? When you've done it, it's like, it always reminds me of like Eminem, you know, when he wins that battle in 8 Mile and he just literally rips himself and then goes, right, tell him something you don't know about me. And the other rapper's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He owned everything about himself.
Yeah, and once you own it, what can people say, I suppose? They already know.
You smell. Yeah, no, I just told you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Obviously, some people weren't understanding about it.
It's going to happen.
They're probably not the people I would choose to be around. I suppose it just shines a light on as well. Like, it just makes it very obvious the sort of people who I
resonate with,
want in my life. You know, sure. Some people, I'm not going to be for everyone. They're not going to all be for me. And
well, you spoke about that deep primal part of wanting people to like you, but that was when you were in a tribe of 150, 200. We're connected, what's it, like 8 billion of us? I think you'll find enough people there to fill that 150 mark and some. And it's just about reminding yourself we're safe, we're worthy, we can be authentic, we can share. Well done. Because I know, like me and you talking, like, doesn't really express how much of a big deal that's been in your life.
No, it's been
even
massive.
Doing this, we've been putting it off a bit until you were ready for it.
Sharing that truth about myself is a big thing.
But to me, that doesn't make you any less lovable. I'm not arse me in the slightest, no pun intended. I'd love you if you had one eye and face was melted and you stank 10 times worse. I'd be like, right, what are we having for tea? It doesn't bother me. But for that part of you, it needs to be shown that over and over again. And I hope that's one of the reasons I wanted to get you on. I think you're an inspiration. And other people who have got their unique, because there's a few people who have got your thing, but it's quite rare, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah, and it has improved a lot since I've changed my diet and my lifestyle. I don't drink alcohol. It has improved massively, so it probably doesn't happen as often as my brain would like to think.
The stories.
So I think it's also about letting my brain catch up as well and being like, I don't need to be in this survival state and hypervigilant and paranoid, thinking that this is happening all the time. Because obviously I can't smell it, so I just go off other people's reactions and what people say. So I think it is important for our brains to catch up as well with like actual reality rather than the old stories. Yeah, but it's still a journey because, you know, I have been quite badly traumatized by the rejection.
Well, one thing at a time, and this is another way of just going, hey, world, this is me.
Yeah.
But like, you haven't just gone, I accept myself fully, which of course you should, but you haven't then just ignored the issues. Yeah. Like you could say, and I'm not fat shaming, but somebody who's overweight quite drastically, it's not good for your health.
Yeah.
You are acceptable, you are enough. But karma is just this happened, which led to that. You're not a shit person, but if you keep, say for me, I kept smoking, or I kept doing this unpleasant thing to people, they're not going to like me, or my body's going to be damaged. So, yeah, I can accept myself all I want, but I do also need to take tangible action.
Yeah, you can accept yourself and also take steps to improve
and then the energy behind
your health.
The energy behind it's so much more nourishing because you could do the same thing But if the energy was, I'm going to the gym because I hate how I look and I'm not acceptable as some weak little man, or I'm going to the gym because I care about my health and it's practical to be able to have a bit of strength and stamina. Same action, different energy.
It's more from a loving place, isn't it?
And we all deserve a bit of love. So, nutrition then. We are IsabellaNutrition on the advert. Everyone's heard it by now, I'm sure. Tell us about how that started coming about.
So I'm 27 now. When I was 21, I decided to start studying at the College of Naturopathic Medicine, so CNM. So I did a naturopathic nutrition course for 3 years. It was a weekend course. And that was really helpful. I wanted to learn more about the body, like for my own health issues. I wanted to know what was going on in the body so I could help myself, but also help other people. So with naturopathic nutrition, it's more of like a holistic way of approaching health. It's not just, going to the doctors, getting a pill for a symptom that you've got, taking pills.
Medicine.
Yeah,
love that phrase though, yeah.
Yeah, like people, they can end up on medication for the rest of their lives because all they're doing is treating the symptom rather than getting to the root cause of, why have you got cancer? Why have you got heart disease? And actually looking at the system as a whole, how all the different organs are interrelated and how we can support those organs to work efficiently. So in my practice, it's very much prevention rather than cure.
Pharmaceutical companies aren't going to like that.
Oh no, they will lose a lot of money if people start looking after their health and don't end up getting these chronic illnesses.
Yeah, because we watch Bake Off and we love a bit of Bake Off. We are Bake Off. We love it. But one thing they fucking say is 1 in 2 will get cancer. It's like, don't put that into our psyche. May get cancer. And if we looked at the reasons why cancer was being caused in one out of 2 people.
Yeah, look at cancer prevention rather than donating to research it. It's, they're making money from people getting cancer.
Which is why I put your advert in straight away. I couldn't, I don't care that you're my partner. If you're peddling shit, I ain't selling it. I'm telling everybody about you because to me, it's one of the most important things.
Well, I used to sell cigarettes.
Exactly.
So I'm not innocent about being part of any of this, but I just decided that it just doesn't resonate with me. It's not in alignment with my morals or values.
Isabella,
it was good
the nutritionist.
Money. Yeah.
Have a cig.
I'll sort you
L&B Blue. There you go. Sweaty deck.
Pound off.
Hey.
No, I just couldn't do it. Yeah. I just couldn't do it anymore.
We've all been in that moment where it doesn't align with us, but we do it anyway because of fear of paying bills, or like you said, like you're getting quite a good wage.
Yeah,
usually the
money.
devil pays better.
It does, but you can't buy me. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it anymore.
You can't buy it, but actually, technically, she does have a few plans available. If you do it, you can buy a time.
Yeah, if I'm being of service to people, I'm helping people.
Purpose.
I don't believe in smoking. I don't believe in us, killing ourselves because. A lot of people have like these deep emotions and they're using substances, cigarettes, alcohol to numb that pain. And I believe in let it out and, heal, look after yourself.
So in terms of the nutrition courses that people have available, we'll put the links for all the technical stuff. That's not what this is about.
So Michael's the name, meditation is the game, and Meditation with Michael has now launched its very own website. Everything I'm doing is going to be on there. From meditation classes, which you can join in person, catch up if you missed one, or just join online from the comfort of your own home. One-to-one sessions. We've got loads of freebies like the chakra meditations, and we've also got a new 10-day beginners course. So if you really want to build that strong foundation, I've suffered with anxiety, depression, suicidal tendencies. I've lost family members. I've been an addict, unhealthy relationships coming out my ears. Meditation was the panacea. Learning how to sit with any sensation that arises, really just helps you to master that patience. And those who master patience, well, they master everything else. So I want to pass that on. It is my purpose to alleviate my own suffering, show others how to do the same, and we can all live more peacefully. It sounds all right, that, doesn't it? So this website is a lovely little hub for you to find everything I'm doing, from the ecstatic dances to the floating meditation journeys. I'll put a link in the description. Go check out meditationwithmichael.co.uk and awaken the power within. Peace and love, guys.
But you do look at a holistic approach and the diet side, and I'm pretty sure I was obsessed with getting a nutritionist when I started getting healthy.
You manifested me.
And you say I'm a strong manifester, innit? A little side thing, by the way, manifesting isn't just sitting there wanting it. You got to meet the universe halfway.
You had to get on Tinder, didn't you?
Oh yeah, by the way.
Super like me.
Little segue. The way that me and Isabella first met, I was on Tinder. And I was already seeing quite a few girls because I was
single man.
I was a single man and I was enjoying, but I went in for experience. So girlfriend, sex, a best friend, or just a terrible experience for me was interesting. And I was upfront and I made a point, I'm not lying to anyone. So even before we went out, I'm seeing other people, and you were like, yeah, of course, it's cool. But then by the second day, I was like, fuck that.
Got rid of the rest.
I was like, this is the girl I'm seeing. And I thought when I was serious about someone, then I shouldn't have my energy going to other women. That's not respectful. Yeah. When it was just, I got a job. I got a best friend, Andrea, which we're both friends with because we're adults and we didn't let that get in the way. And then I also
shout out to Andrea.
Yeah, shout out to Andrea, man. I'm going to get her at some point. She's like...
eco-warrior.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe her. So... the nutrition then. I know you don't want me to ask any technical things, but is there a few basic things that people can just look at? Obviously, everyone knows veg is good for you, fruit's good for you, drinking fizzy pop and sweets is shit. But is there anything that you think you see a lot of people doing, but there might be a little blind spot to it?
Yeah, I think it's important to do like functional testing as well.
Okay.
To actually find out what's going on in the body. So for me, I did like a GI effects test with Genova. So that was like taking a stool sample and looking at my microbiome.
I remember walking in.
Yeah, maybe don't do that. But yeah, it did show a lot about what was going on. So I had like quite a high dysbiosis, and then the bacteria were releasing something called beta-glucuronidase, which basically can inhibit the detoxification, the metabolism of the hormone estrogen. So I know that I have struggled with like PMS and like heavy periods and things like that, probably because of this estrogen dominance. But obviously there are cancers that are, can be caused or exacerbated by these hormones. So I genuinely believe like it's important to find out what's going on so we can do something about it. I now take calcium D-glucarate. I eat lots of cruciferous vegetables to help these hormones detox from my body. People don't
know what that is, cruciferous?
So cruciferous vegetables are also known as brassica vegetables. That's your broccoli, kale, cauliflower, bok choy, Brussels sprouts.
You're always saying have dark leafy greens.
Yeah, dark leafy greens are really good. So these are really supportive for our liver to help us detox toxins, hormones and things like that. So yeah, also getting your omega-3s in, trying to have oily fish such as salmon, mackerel. You can get vegan
omega-3, by the way, if you're like me and you don't eat meat.
Yeah, you can also get the algae supplements, which you can get your omega-3s from if you are vegan. They're very anti-inflammatory, so trying to get like 2 to 3 portions of fish in your diet or taking your supplements, very anti-inflammatory. Obviously, like your whole grains, legumes, your chickpeas, lentils, they're good sources of plant protein.
You talk a lot about raw food as well.
Yeah, raw food. So
cook the nutrients, boil the nutrients.
Yeah, so you destroy a lot of the enzymes through the cooking process. So, raw peppers, onions, have like big salads with lots of spinach. You can get broccoli sprouts as well that you can put on your salads.
Which you always dress before.
Yeah,
I remember the first salad I made for her, and I just here's salad.
Yeah, I'm not eating that.
Where's the seasoning? Where's the dressing? And
I'm not a rabbit. I'm just going to nibble like a lettuce leaf and be like,
She's there with her apple cider vinegar,
olive
extra
oil,
virgin olive oil, balsamic vinegar,
Himalayan salt and pepper.
You will not have bland
You got to
food.
make it nice.
Yeah, because
add some avocado in there, get some healthy fats in.
A big point I'd like to make about eating healthy is it doesn't have to be a punishment.
It's not. Like, it should just be how we eat. We're not on a diet when we eat healthy. That's just a way of eating.
now than I've ever ate. Like, my snacks are just healthy. My food is healthy.
Yeah.
Like you said, fats are shamed. Fat is shamed, but it's
not all fat is made equal. Like, I would say avoid trans fats. So that's like your margarine, sunflower oil, canola oil, rapeseed oil. I would say use...
your fucking fast foods.
Oh, yeah, they're like full of like these toxic fats. They're toxic for the cells. So you can replace that you can cook with coconut oil, ghee, butter, olive oil. Just make sure that you're not cooking at a very high heat with olive oil because it will... become denatured and become a toxic fat. So extra virgin olive oil is quite great for salads or like just low heat cooking.
And be mindful of your pans. You got me onto that.
Yeah, definitely get rid of like your Tefal. Is it Tefal? Teflon? Tefal's like...
You know your Tefal. Get rid of that
Teaching
Tefal.
English. Your Teflon pans, your non-stick pans, I would put them in the bin like they are toxic. You can use... cast iron pans, stainless steel. They're much cleaner for you. But yeah, also eating organic as well is really important.
We made a big decision, didn't we? Like, some people are like, oh, I can't afford it. I'm like, well, you won't want to, like, you've sometimes just got to bite the bullet. I'm sorry, what's more important? The pack of cigs or going to the movies or going out and getting pissed or making sure your food that you feed your family is not covered in poison?
Exactly. Like, pesticides have been linked to increased risk of Alzheimer's, cancer, like all these different illnesses.
Which makes sense because they're to kill bugs.
Yeah.
And what a microbiome.
Exactly.
Tiny ass bugs. So when you're killing all that, you're killing all these good guys who are actually sorting you out.
Yeah. And the chemicals, like our body just doesn't know how to puts like a massive load on the liver to detox that.
And even if you can't afford, maybe like for one, you can, because I'm not rich and I manage if you make the decision. But two, you can grow it yourself. Get an allotment, like out at the back, herb garden.
Yeah, definitely. And like we shop at Unicorn and the fruit and veg, isn't really that overly priced. It's more
it's more
the nuts and things like that are a bit more expensive. Also, if you do eat meat and fish, definitely I would recommend to go for organic, wild caught fish, wild caught salmon,
ethically sourced.
Yeah, grass fed meats, because in factory farmed meat and conventional meat, the omega 6 and 9 ratio are really off. So the omega 9 oils in these meats are very high compared to the omega 3, which causes a lot of inflammation in the body. So when you get in like your grass fed meat, the omega 6 and omega 9 are more balanced out, which decreases inflammation, and also it's better for the animal as well. They're not in a factory. Yeah, 100%. Like you don't want them to have like an awful life and be in a factory farm. You want them to be out on the field roaming.
And even if you're not bothered about that, well, if that animal is stressed, pumped full of chemicals and hormones, that's going into your body. Tell me, does that sound like it's a good thing for yourself, even on a selfish level?
Like the energetic transfer, and you've got these animals with cortisol, like the stress hormone pumping through their bodies, and you're then consuming that, everything's energy, and that energy will then go into your body, I believe. So
if people are interested, you've got platinum, gold and silver packages, is that right? And this is because it's a bit like with my meditation sessions. Yeah, you can do one, just like you can go to the gym once, do a cold water dip once, do a breath work once, a yoga session once. But the real changes come from being consistent and persistent. So your packages aren't just come and see me as a one-off, because it's probably not going to fix something that's deeply rooted within you.
It's going to take time.
It's going to take time.
Yeah, so definitely I would recommend to, book a package and see me for, a 3-month. ideally a 3-month period where we can really work on your diet, on your lifestyle. If there's any herbs or supplements that I think you could benefit from, looking at detoxification, just really cleaning up the system, because with naturopathy as well, we do look quite a lot into detoxification, use different naturopathic techniques to support the detoxification organs, because we need to have a clean vessel.
Well, we're about to do juice and flow.
Yes,
but when this comes out, that will have already gone. So this isn't us plugging it. But we did a juice fast, and you fasted quite a few times because it gives the body a fucking rest.
Oh yeah, like I feel really good doing like water only fasts or juice fasts. It, like, my mind just feels so much more clear and focused. My digestion feels better. I feel better once I've like finished the fast as well. I make sure that when I finish my fast, that I break the fast with, lots of healthy foods.
Don't just go get a Mackey's right after it for a few beers.
Yeah, very gentle on the digestive system. I like to add some fermented foods in there, like sauerkraut, kimchi, fermented beetroot, things like that.
They're your original probiotics.
Yeah. So they're a really good way to add good bacteria into the gut. Polyphenol-rich foods as well. So that's like different spices, cinnamon, turmeric, olives, berries. So your gut loves these polyphenol-rich foods, fermented foods. So once you've done like a gut reset, you can just add in some good bugs in there.
I mean, I'm blessed to have you around. I wanted a nutritionist at the time because I wanted to get fit and sexy. But now
it's not just about that, though, is it?
That's a byproduct. If you're attractive,
that's added bonus.
If you're attractive to the opposite sex, it's because you're healthy and people are attracted to healthy. So that's just a byproduct. Like doing meditation to be calm is a paradox. If you're trying, then you can't surrender, and therefore you can't be calm. It's just a byproduct. So
yeah, but I mean, there are also people that look quite healthy on the outside.
Yeah.
But their organs, their gut, probably not very healthy.
Well, I won't name shame, but we've got a friend who looks ripped. You wouldn't think there was that much, but they eat shit, they drink, they smoke, they suppress, and yeah, they look all right. But inside, that's a fucking time bomb.
It'll catch up with you, it will.
So is there anything else you wanted to touch on with the nutrition? Obviously, we're not going to go into big, deep dives. We got workshops, we've got books, we've got one-to-ones, but is there anything else you just want to share with the people?
Yeah, I'd say, clean water is really important as well. So investing in a good quality water filter. There's Zero, which is quite affordable. And we've
got a friend, Pure First. If you want to get your
shout out to Troy. That's like a proper fitted in filter under your sink and everything. And that just helps to clean out a lot of the impurities, the chlorine, the fluoride, any like parasites or anything that's lurking in there. Why is that important just for the
audience, by the way, to clear that stuff out? What are the effects if you don't?
Yeah, so chlorine, they actually, like the Nazis actually use that to like gas, and kill the Jews. So it's like really quite a dangerous chemical for the body.
And also, does the fluoride calcify?
Yeah, so fluoride, it can calcify the pineal gland, and also it can affect the thyroid gland as well. So if someone's got like hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism, that could be affected by the fluoride in the water.
You heard it here, guys. So
yeah,
there's obviously so much we can talk about with you being my partner. I'm sure I'll be able to get you on again. But I did want to touch a little bit on the Vipassana as well. And this was just because this changed our relationship with sensation and also with being still. But mainly, I just want you to tell people about the cool visions you had. And this is sober.
Yeah, I mean, it was...
what day was it?
I think it was like day 4, like the start of day 4.
So we'd done Anapana, which is watching the breathing in through the nose, out through the nose for 3.5 days. Go watch our Vipassana video if you want to know the details. But then on day 4, you start doing Vipassana.
Yeah, that's when it got quite interesting. So when we started doing the actual Vipassana, where we are basically scanning the body from head to toe, observing all the different sensations in the body. So I was in like my dorm room because we could meditate in the hall or in our dorm, and I was meditating in my dorm, and just doing the Vipassana, going up and down, observing all these different sensations. And then it was just like a lot of like blissful, like just really nice energy just flowing through me. Started seeing like all different colours, like my eyes were closed, I was seeing all different colours. And then I started getting like images of people, like different faces, like I didn't recognise any of them. It was sort of like a video reel, and it was just like coming in front of my vision. Like I've seen like an old man with like a really skinny face.
You said it was like looking at me.
Oh yeah, it was so clear, and I'm not good at visualising stuff. Like I can't visualise people's faces very well. This was so clear, it was as if I was in real life looking at that person. There was like a little child that I think I was like taking pictures of him or something. We were in the garden and he was like pulling like silly faces. Never seen this child before in my life. There was like...
She's not usually running around photographing children,
I don't know whether that was like my son in a past life.
Because you love that past life stuff.
Oh, I believe it. Like, yeah, the amount of stories I've heard where people have like, you know, like near-death experience where they've died.
She loves her near-death experience, this one.
I do.
Not actually having them.
No, not to me.
I'm always finding her and almost dying and resuscitating her. Not again.
There was like a baby in the womb. There was like people with like cloaks on, and I was just like, wow, like this is mad.
And there's nothing that's changed your... You can't blame that.
No, I've not had a drug.
Anything.
Like that is probably the most...
Sober you've been?
That's probably the most psychedelic experience I've had, but with no drugs. Like I've never seen anything like that on mushrooms. And I'm sober. I must have been so present and tapping into something.
Well, they said the Buddha when he finally hit that.
Yeah, it was interesting as well, because I was like what's going on? But then when we went into the hall for the discourse later that evening, Goenka, the teacher, was talking about the Buddha, how when he was doing Vipassana, he experienced 10 of his past lives. And I was like, okay, is that what I was experiencing? Like, were they me in these past lives? I don't know.
Embrace the mystery.
Yeah, but it's very interesting.
So, who on earth is Isabella Bradford-Johnson? I think we've done quite a good job, but do you feel like there's anything that we might be missing? One thing I'd like to tell people is she's fucking funny as well. I couldn't be with a boring person. It's just not for me, and you crack me up more than most people.
Aww.
But is there anything else that you want to share with people?
Yeah, I think, it's good to share, like a lot of like my journey hasn't been, all this like positivity and things like that. Like there has been periods, even recently, like a few months ago, where I've been in like a dark place and I've just wanted to like give up on life, and I've really isolated myself. I think because of like, the smell issue, like the insecurities, things like that, I just was like, no, I'm just going to isolate myself. Like, I don't deserve to be around people. Like, I don't want to be around people. I don't want to get hurt by people. And yeah, I was ready to give up. But then I was just like, do you know what? No, like, I'm not doing this. Like, there's a life to be lived. And yeah, we ended up like going to Glastonbury with like a really cool bunch of people.
Nikki, everyone's seen Nikki,
David, Gabby,
Gabriella,
CJ, Hannah.
Hannah's did an interview with me. You're going to see her soon. Chris, yeah, we did. Cairo.
Dan,
DJ Dan, go down to Unknown.
Shout out to everyone, the Glasgow crew.
Well, you that was a big step for you, because you were literally at like...
Yeah, it was like the crossroads.
I was worried for you, but then also like, a part of me went, she's got to decide. You can only, like Buddha said, I can show you the path, I can't walk it for you.
Yeah, I had to get to that place.
I had to get out of my yang energy, my man energy.
It's completely a choice whether we let ourselves crumble and retreat into our cave, or we're like, no, I'm going to fight for my life. And I decided to go to Glastonbury, last minute thing. And, I was just met with like complete acceptance and support. And I think it's very important to have that community of people
you're in a
around
group,
you.
Like Gabriella.
Gabby's set up like an amazing like women's group, the Lionesses. Which is amazing to be a part of. She's got loads of different events.
If everyone remembers Ruben, he's going to be doing that.
Ruben's like holding space for the women on the wall. So many fantastic people.
If you just allow yourself to reach out.
if you just open yourself to it, like get out of your comfort zone, like get out there, meet people, be authentic, share you as a person and your feelings, and people.
You'll be surprised.
If you're around the right people, they're usually very happy to help.
Yeah, they're almost like, do you know what? You've inspired me. And I hope your sharing of your story, even if it might have been difficult for you at certain bits, inspires one person to go, do you know what? I'm not giving up either.
100%. Like, we all have that courage within us to face, like, our demons and to, the courage to feel how we're feeling. Like, that's been like a game changer for me as well, allowing myself, knowing that I have that courage to feel. Because
no one can feel it for you.
No one can do it for you. It's a choice.
This amazing, fantastic guest, which I'm sure everyone would agree who's listening and watching, but there's some shit you can't help me with. I have to feel it. I have to feel the dad dying, the sensations. I have to feel loss of family members. I have to feel what my drug addictions were blocking and my issues with rage. You can't do that for me. You can hold space, but at the end of the day, it comes down to you.
You can't bypass it. Like,
no, it's not, and you weren't meant to. This is important, by the way. We're so addicted to feeling good and happy because we've been programmed by whatever. We're not going to get into that. To desire that and totally reject anything that isn't that we forget we came here to feel it all, to experience it all. And actually, it's not an obstacle. It's not a horrible moment. It's an opportunity. Yeah,
you got to feel it to heal it, 100%.
There you go. Anything else before we let you go?
No.
Where can people find you?
Leave
that
it
might
on
help.
That. So you can find me on IsabellaNutrition 111 on Instagram, or my personal account is IZ1997X.
And the mouthful, that is your email, that is your website?
Yep, you can find me on Isabella Bradford-Johnson Nutrition.
She doesn't even know. But guys, don't worry about remembering that. I'll put all the links in the description. Go find her courses, go find her workshops, go find a book. And if you just want to reach out and tell her how much you appreciated her sharing, just do that as well. All right, anything else?
No.
All right, it wasn't so painful.
I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me on.
No, I appreciate it. And thanks for staying till the end, guys. Peace and love.
Bye, guys.
Well, I hope that episode 2 of season 2 has shown you why I love her so much, why I just want to share her with the world. IsabellaNutrition, Isabella Bradford-Johnson. All the links are going to be in the description. Honestly, let food be thy medicine. Stop looking for all these complicated, expensive fixes. It's as simple as, what are we feeding ourselves? Put the wrong petrol in the car, it ain't going anywhere. So let's start with getting that bit right. The links for Isabella are in the description. I couldn't recommend her more. If you feel love towards her, or you want to understand how she can help you in life, it's right there, it's a click away. And also for myself, meditation is the thing that I just believe, beyond everything else, can't help but just process the sensations in a more skillful way. We'll be calmer, more patient, we'll be more balanced. We're going to affect our lives in a healthier way. So the links for myself will be in the description. You want to come down to something, you want to book a one-to-one, you want to check out this passion project of the 10-day beginners course, where everything you need to build a strong foundation that I have learned is there for you. Go down to the links, the website, have fun. And for Transmute Studio, you want to get down to a dance, a sound bath, some sort of yoga or drumming, loads of cool stuff. I'll put the link for Transmute in the description too. So we're on to episode 3 already, the new year. This is the first one where someone reached out to me, and it was quite interesting. I've not had someone do that yet. We've only done season 1. So Harry Verma from Innate Experiences, someone from his team saw the show, loved it, thought it would be a great thing for him to come on. And I'm a bit like, well, I don't know who you are, let's have a chat. And by the end of the chat, I could tell this was a guy I wanted to do an episode with. So we did an episode. It's funny. It's relatable. There's crazy bits. There's bits where you're like, oh, that's just like me. And in between, he does retreats, co-living, there's gatherings. He's got a whole global community. So go check out Innate Experiences out. That'll be episode 3 of season 2. How we've had it, man. Now, while you're waiting, feel free to go check out episode 1 with Echo. You know, that was a beyond the veil indeed. Oh, I'll tell you what, we've got a whole season 1 there for you while you're waiting. So get Christmas over and done with. Go and enjoy your Christmas experience. And then, for the new year, let's get the mind right. Let's meet all these beautiful people who've been on Who on Earth and see where little drops of wisdom can help us. Any likes, any comments you want to tell me how your life's going and how you found the episode, and also any shares to other people you think it might help them or they might be interested. It's a new show. Much appreciated. Until then, though, guys, Merry Christmas and all in between. Happy New Year until the next episode. Peace and love.